Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So the annual fee for my Capital One Venture X card hit, a whopping $395. I tell people on my channel that every time the card's annual fee hits on your statement, you should always look at the use of the card and evaluate whether or not it makes sense to keep or cancel this card. Just because a card is popular doesn't mean you should be keeping it in your wallet. For example, my Chase Sapphire Preferred card had the annual fee hit earlier in the year, and I decided to cancel the card. Although I think that the Chase Sapphire Preferred card is a great card for beginners, in the last year, I barely even used the card. I think I only used it one time, and it was for that $50 hotel credit. So I decided, since I was not using the card at all, it didn't make any sense for me to keep this card in my wallet. Now, you hear from a lot of people that you should either have the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserved so you can take advantage of one of Chase's transfer partners. Now, I don't have either one of those. I do have the Chase Ink Preferred card that does give me access to Chase's transfer partners. And I also have the Chase Freedom Flex card to where, if I really wanted to, I could just upgrade that card to being a Chase Sapphire Preferred card. But I want to cut down on annual fees because they add up pretty quickly, and there's no reason to be giving these banks any additional money that we don't have to. Now, this is my first full year of having the Capital One Venture X card. And normally, when an annual fee posts on my statement, it stings. But with the Capital One Venture X card, not only did it not sting, but I actually was kind of looking forward to it. And no, it isn't because I like to pay Capital One money, it's because of the benefits I get after I end up paying for the annual fee. When you renew the Capital One Venture X card and pay the $395 annual fee, you get a $300 travel credit and then also 10,000 venture miles. So for me, it's pretty much like the annual fee is non-existent because the $300 in travel credit and then also the 10,000 points should give me $400 towards future travel. Now, I know that some people want to see this game as being free, but I don't see any of this as being free. I'm going to spend more than $400 in travel purchases, even though points and miles covers 95% of my costs, because there are instances where cash is either the only option or the best option to go with. For example, I went to a wedding that was at a hotel that wasn't part of any major chain, so I had to pay cash out of pocket close to about $300. So with the travel credit that comes with the Capital One Venture X card, I could have been able to use that to cover my entire hotel stay. So I've actually been waiting for the annual fee to hit just so I could end up getting that $300 travel credit and use it towards my future travel purchases. And the 10,000 points I received should be at a base level value, giving me $100 towards travel purchases. Now, I guess technically I could redeem it for a statement credit and then redeem it for $50 towards statement credit. I think I'm smart enough to be able to figure out how to get myself at least $100 in value towards travel. But let's say I'm a lot dumber than I realize. I only get a $50 towards a statement credit. I still got myself $350 in value for this $395 annual fee card. But there ends up being more benefits that come with it as well that can still justify that missing gap of $45. And that benefit ends up being lounge access to both the Capital One Lounge and also the Priority Pass lounges. Now, there aren't a ton of Capital One lounges as of recording this video, but there are quite a few Priority Pass lounges. And I do realize that there are many other cards out there that do end up giving you Priority Pass, such as like the Marriott Platinum card, which I also have. However, even though I have Priority Pass with the Amex Platinum card and the Capital One Venture X card, I was able to make use of having both of them because if you decide to go to one of these Sapphire lounges, you can either get full access into those if you happen to have the Chase Sapphire Reserved or the Ritz-Carlton card, or you can get one access pass if you happen to have a Priority Pass card. So in the last year, I was able to visit both the Boston Sapphire Lounge and also the JFK Sapphire Lounge. Now, I guess technically because I have the American Platinum card, I would have also had access to the Centurion Lounge in JFK, but it was nice to be able to see the JFK Sapphire Lounge, which has, in my opinion, better food than most Centurion lounges. And because of the way that I eat and drink when I go into these lounges, I would say I got about $40 in value, especially when you look at what they're charging outside of these lounges if you want to buy a meal at the airport. Now, not only do I like the perks that come with the Venture X card, but I also end up using this card quite a bit on spend because this card ends up being my catch-all card when I am not working on a welcome offer. This card gives you 2x back on all of your purchases and then also gives you 5x back on flights booked through the travel portal. I don't normally end up doing this because of the fact that I have the American Express Platinum card, so I'll just end up using that card for my flight purchases. But you can also get yourself 10x back on car rentals and hotel purchases through Capital One's travel portal. This is actually something I have used because I've stayed at a couple of hotels that weren't part of a chain, and I thought, well, why not get 10x back for this stay? And when it comes to the venture miles that I've earned from my Venture X card, I'm someone who likes to transfer over to transfer partners to get myself outsized value, and I've done that for 2 different flights that I have booked for the future. The first one is going to be with Air France from Portugal, connecting into Paris, and then going from Paris over to LAX. and the second flight that I booked was with Singapore Airlines. Now this didn't go exactly how I wanted it to. Originally I booked Singapore's suites, which ended up being like that super large first class product on their A380. However, the route that I chose it on, they ended up doing a complete equipment swap for that route, so there's no longer the A380 plane, and I ended up seeing a business class flight for only 34,000 Singapore miles. So I decided to take that business class flight instead. So now I have some extra Singapore miles, which is a little bit annoying, but I'll figure out a way to be able to use them sometime in the future. So far with my Venture miles, I've been able to redeem it for 2 business class flights that are probably worth thousands of dollars in value. But more importantly to me, I've been able to redeem them in a way that allows me to travel and experience the world in comfort at a very low cost. So really good earnings and redemptions, lounge access, and travel credit. Am I gonna be keeping this card in year 2? I think the answer is pretty easy. Not only am I keeping this card in year 2, this is my favorite card in my wallet. I get good earnings and use all the benefits naturally, and the annual fee pretty much goes unnoticed to me. If you have this card and you were considering canceling it, I would think twice, because for the vast majority of people, this is the best luxury travel credit card that you can get. Now, I know for some people, they're gonna say, well, I can't get it because Capital One isn't approving me for the card. I understand. Some of you may already know my story about applying for this card, but the first time I applied for this card was right when it first came out, and Capital One denied me. And honestly, I was actually pretty shocked because I've gotten Capital One Saver cards, I've gotten Capital One Venture cards, Capital One Quicksilver cards, and I've never been denied for a Capital One card. But when the Venture X first came out, they immediately denied me for the card. I thought, well, maybe it's because I had a high velocity, so that can make sense. But then a year later, I applied for the card, and I was only getting business cards, didn't really have any new lines of credit on my personal credit report, and Capital One denied me again. It took 3 tries for me to end up getting approved for this card, so just know that if you end up getting denied in the beginning, that doesn't mean that you're always gonna end up being denied for this card. Trust me, I understand if you happen to be jealous seeing other people run around with this card, raving about how great it is. That's how I was, and honestly, my backup plan, if I didn't end up getting approved for it, was gonna be to try to product change one of my other Capital One cards over to the Venture X card, even without a sign-up bonus. That's how great I think that this card is. The Venture X card is a great card. Now, some people may say that this isn't the golden age of the Venture X card because when it first came out, it was a little bit better, but I still think that this card right now is a great card. However, I do think that while it already lost some benefits, I think more will probably end up being lost because, in my opinion, the card is just too good as compared to the competitor of the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Now, I know that there's some people would say, well, but the Chase Sapphire Reserve card has Hyatt. Listen, there are other hotel programs outside of Hyatt. This is coming from a Hyatt globalist fanboy. If you can move past Hyatt, you realize how much better the Venture X card is compared to the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. If they don't jack up the annual fee for the Venture X card, then it's gonna become like the City Prestige card because I feel like the card is just too good and doesn't seem like it's very sustainable. The Venture X card, as it is right now, in my opinion, is the best travel credit card out there. So if you are in the market for a new travel credit card, I think the Venture X card is definitely a great one to add into your wallet. But hopefully you enjoy this video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what is your favorite travel credit card? Is it the Venture X card, or do you like a different travel credit card better? Now, if you happen to have any questions about the Venture X card, you can drop it in the comment section down below. I'll do the best I can to answer it. If you happen to be interested in this card or any card out there, check out my links in the description box down below. If you do decide to use one of my links, it does really help out the channel, and I'll be incredibly thankful for your support. If you happen to really like this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace.